Good evening, morning, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'm Adam Duval, Mental Health Warrior, and tonight we've got someone who is known by Samantha Jones, who was a guest a few weeks ago on Power Hour Mindfulness, and the host of Power Hour Mindfulness, our Mindset Warrior, Steve Knapp. So, Steve, if you're watching, tune in and share, because you're going to love this guest. You are. Now, we have got Michele Coy. I can't remember where she's from. So, and by the way, she's got brilliant hair. Really does. I think she's done it just for this podcast. Who knows? So yeah, please share this in awareness. And it's a new week. Shame coffee morning couldn't happen this morning, but so I'm starting this week with a fantastic guest. And all I've got to say is I'm going to see you in about 25 seconds. See you later. Hello.
Hello. How are you, Adam?
I am well. How are you?
Good. Just taking a second to share with my listeners.
Brilliant. Yes, I love the new intro as well from my beautiful wife, literally, who's right above me. So, yeah, so if I probably slip up, she can just give me a bit of a booting. No, I'm not joking. I love her to bits. She'll be laughing at that. Now, Michele Coy, you are a business leadership coach for women who assist her clients in understanding their value so that they can be stronger leaders.
Yes.
Before we get into all of that, and the NLP you've done, and the timeline therapy, we need to know, well, I'm going to throw some quick fire questions at you first. So I'm going to say, are you a night owl or an early bird?
Night owl. I do not like to get up in the morning.
Oh, I bet your husband thinks you cranky person in the morning.
Actually, I wake up with a ray of sunshine. I'm usually not too cranky. So, yes.
Wow. I get told I'm cranky every morning or every day. Night or morning, it really doesn't matter. But anyway, coffee or tea?
Coffee. Tea's not big here in America.
No?
Coffee.
You're California, aren't you?
Actually, I'm Michigan.
Michigan?
You can do it on the hand. I live right here in Michigan. Whoops, excuse me, right here. So Michigan. You got to do it with the other hand. Yep. And then I'm right here.
There.
Right about here, the other side. Yep. We have
you Lake a map Michigan on your hand.
Yep. Lake Michigan's right here. Because Michigan is the one that's shaped like a hand, and it's got a peninsula. So you can do it.
You know what? I'm 30 years old, and that's the first time I've ever come across that method.
Yes. Hey. You learn something new every day, right?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And Kerry, yeah, I may be cranky, but you chose to marry me. Hey, right. Next one. I'm going to say, as it's Christmas coming up, what's your favourite Christmas movie?
Ooh. It's hard to say. I don't have a favorite. I love those romance Christmas movies. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
So,
you like one of them.
Yeah, so whatever comes up, I'm open to. I don't really have a favorite Christmas.
No.
Unless you can say like Charlie Brown Christmas.
Who's Charlie Brown?
Oh, you don't know Charlie Brown? It's a Peanuts. It's a comic. It's actually a comic strip. Nope, that's new for you too. Wow.
I've not lived.
You have not lived. You'll have to look up Charlie Brown Christmas after we get off of here.
I will do. It's all right. I get forced to watch a royal wedding when it comes to Christmas. I think I'm getting a look off the missus. Hey, darling. Yeah, I'm in the doghouse. Hey, it's all right. I always am. I live in it. Right, let's dive right into it now.
Yes.
Before we get on with it, I want to know, I'm going to put you on camera on your own, so I'm just going to keep myself in the doghouse.
Okay.
Explain to the viewers about who Michele Coy is.
Okay. Hi, I'm Michele Coy. I am a leadership and business coach and mindset coach for women. My journey began, let's go back and rewind to the second grade. I always wanted to be a math teacher. However, life threw me a curveball. And when I was in grade 9, I was introduced to accounting. And so I began my journey as an accountant for nearly 29 years. The last 4.5, I landed as a finance manager for a tribal government, meaning I worked with Native Americans. And during this time, I realized that there was a plethora of ways that people viewed money and also valued themselves. And as I continued to work with these individuals, I began to notice my own money stories and my own value where I didn't see my own value. So I needed to take a deeper look into that. So in April 13th, 2018, it was Friday the 13th for any superstitious people, was my last day, and I jumped ship from corporate. And I knew that I had a bigger mission than behind the desk. And so what I did was I sat on my couch. Yes, I sat on my couch for 4 months. And I didn't really know where I wanted to go. I wanted to be a coach because I knew I could make a difference that way. However, I had never experienced a coach except in, sports. And I started looking around and I found the John Maxwell team, which was big into personal development. And so I began to develop myself. And through this process, I went from an extreme introvert to starting to get out there and building relationships. And through this process, I realized I had a strength for connecting people together. And so this began a journey into my own self-development and learning more about myself, about my limiting beliefs, and what was stopping me from actually moving forward in business and personally. So I began to mentor small businesses. And through that process, I actually began to see that there was a need for my services. And I actually jumped into doing a bookkeeping business, which I just closed in March of 2021, and began coaching. Actually, when the pandemic hit was the day I launched my coaching business, because as working through with small business owners, I recognized they had a different value of themselves as a business owner than they did personally. And I wanted to find out what that gap was. And so I began my coaching career. And through that coaching, I was introduced to NLP, which changed my life and now changes the lives of my clients.
Yes. You lived as a corporate? A corporate?
Yes. I lived in corporate, or I worked like corporate business. Yeah.
I need to ask, and I'm going to try and say this without trying to get our channel shut down, because I am very opinionated when it comes to the government. So, and I know my partner's thinking, what is the difference between living in the corporate world to living how you are now?
So corporate world is very rigid with a lot of policies and procedures. And the way I live today, I live for myself. I live for
Okay.
helping other people. And I'm not limited to how I can help people. Literally, the reason that I left my corporate position was I was told you either help the members or you stay in your lane and stay in finance. But I had such a heart for helping the members and helping them find the services within the tribal government that it was very hard for me to just stay in my lane. And that was just the beginning to the end of that job, because I knew I had so much more to offer.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I say good riddance to them.
Yes.
They
Actually,
lost the good one.
I am going back and starting to work with some of them in the mindset work, because I knew I didn't leave in a bad manner.
Right.
I left a boss. I didn't leave a job. I had a boss that limited me, while the rest of the organization supported me and the community embraced me. So I had a really hard time leaving. That was a very hard decision for me. However, I knew that they needed something more.
Okay.
And I could offer that.
Okay. So this corporate world, does it recognize mental health or mental illness as much as it's supposed to?
I do not believe it does. We had so I worked in a tribal government, which is Native Americans.
Yeah.
And they have gone through trauma. They have generational trauma. And we had trauma-informed care. So they were beginning to recognize that, and the ripple effect that trauma was causing as we were working with tribal members, because I was working with a plethora, I was working with young kids all the way up to, our elders. And they started to recognize that. But that was a tribal government. So what the difference between a tribal government and a US government is, the tribal government is a sovereign nation within the United States. And however, in other businesses, mental health is not. I do not feel that corporate is addressing the mental health crisis. There are some companies. I just began working with a company that is what they call an employee assistance program, where a corporate client can purchase blocks of counseling time so that their employees can reach out to this company for counseling, and they don't have to go through the employer.
Interesting.
So,
let's move on from the government, because we
yes.
could sit there for hours talking about them.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially me. Right. I want to talk about how you was growing up, when you first come across these kind of challenges you was facing.
So I know definitely some of the challenges that I discovered. I just finished my master's NLP training. And one of the things that really I recognized, I did not have a traumatic per se, a lot of people have had much worse trauma. My trauma was, my dad was a workaholic and an alcoholic. And a lot of times we were not seen nor heard. And oftentimes he took advantage of my knowledge and my skills. And the reason I say that is, my dad was a small business owner. I worked in accounting. And so often he said, "Hey, can you catch my books up?" And when I sent him a bill, he says, "You are not valuable." I should not have to pay for that. I paid for your college education. I do not need to pay for your services. Even though I just gave up 60 hours of my family time to work on his stuff. So that not being seen and heard and valued was one of my biggest limiting beliefs. And actually, it stopped me from actually starting a business when I was younger because he didn't value, and that transformed into me not valuing myself.
Wow. So, would you say that was a barrier for you?
It was a barrier.
Yeah.
Because I worked 18 years in a job. The last 10 years, I did not receive a raise or any recognition for the work that I put in. And I left there because I was basically running the business myself.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been given any sort of raise in 10 years. Why? I didn't think I had the voice to be able to ask, because I was not encouraged to ask for help when I was younger either.
Wow.
So while I had that normal, what I deemed a normal life, I can see, reflecting back now, where these little things put so many limiting beliefs within me.
Yeah, absolutely. My heart bleeds for you. It really does.
It was the magic of NLP that I truly was able to step into who I truly am. Yeah. And have the confidence to talk about it.
Yeah. You talk about NLP. Now, obviously, I know what it is. You know what it is. But for those that do not know what it is, what is it? What is it? And how can you implement it in your life?
So neuro-linguistic programming, aka NLP, is basically the conversation with the unconscious mind. It helps you to learn what your unconscious mind is processing that you don't necessarily know about. And for me, I implement it with my clients to help them understand what is stopping them from being their best self and being that leader or that business owner that wants to continue growing their business.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to what you were saying, Caroline Bennis has put death by 1,000 cuts, Michelle.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Please share this all. Please share. And if you've got any questions for Michelle, fire them in the comments and we'll get them read out. No problem about that. But if I miss any, I'm sure Michelle will go back and have a look and respond to you. Right. Now obviously with me, I'm currently doing level 3 mental health, which, wow, that's all I say to that. But after that, after this course, I am actually going to look into doing NLP myself.
Yes.
Yes.
It's an amazing process. The stuff I learned about myself going through the process has, wow, it's changed me.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Now, you are a graduate assistant with the Dale Carnegie course 9 times.
Oh, dog. Sorry about that.
Do they want to come on?
They do. I think there was a school bus that just went by. So the Dale Carnegie course is a leadership course for men and women. It's teaching you to have better communication skills, It's learning how to cope with your attitude, which also contributes to your stress and anxiety and worry. It teaches you communication, leadership, and human relations, just to be a better person. And I have gained, it was life-changing for me. That was my life-changing before NLP.
Yeah.
I was the person that sat on the wall. I did not want to talk. I was always in an office. I wasn't able to communicate with, I wasn't the one that was going out there and meeting new people and learning new skills. And through the Dale Carnegie course, I became confident and I would not have been able to do this. This would have been a no-go.
Wow.
So
I don't know if to do the Dale Carnegie course in the UK. I don't know.
I don't know. I know it's a US course. It's definitely life-changing, and just seeing people transform over 12 weeks is amazing.
Yeah. Well, if people can find out after this whether that course is actually here in the UK, that'd be brilliant. Now, you are a certified as a Dave Ramsey financial coach and a certified coach, speaker, and leadership trainer with the John Maxwell team. Now, let's talk about the John Maxwell team.
So the John Maxwell team is, John Maxwell's published over 85 different books, and it's all on personal development and developing yourself and becoming a leader within your community. And so the John Maxwell team actually has given me the opportunity to look what coaching was. What coaching is, how I could help, the opportunity to get within businesses and teach leadership and really coach the staff as well. Yeah. And bring in mindset training, because that is so needed right now.
I agree. Yeah, what we are thinking here at Mental Health Warriors is actually going on tour out into the community next year and teaching the next generation about not just the subconscious mind, but also law of attraction.
Yes.
That's what we're doing now. I know someone we know called Kerry Burr. She brands herself the human GPS. She does she's also NLP certified as well. And she does law of attraction with my kids. So, yeah.
Law of attraction, it's a beautiful thing. It is. So many people don't realize it.
No. Now, I want to go back to, because you specialize in relationships as well. Now, I'm going to ask you straight up. What does a perfect relationship look like in your eyes?
So I am actually building the relationships within companies. So helping people so that they can easily communicate what they need.
Right.
And being able to ask what they need. Because so often, especially right now in the US, people don't know how to ask. I'm hearing from different business leaders that they are struggling with individuals that are just asking for help. Especially, I had one example last week. Somebody said, how did you get to this conclusion? And the individual says, I don't know. Well, when were you going to ask? Well, when I gave it to the person to get the feedback. And she was like, well, this would have resulted in the person going out to a company the next day and not having the correct information. So how can we build a better, stronger relationship within companies where individuals feel that safety net to be able to ask for help and not feel judged for it?
I'm glad you mentioned that. I really am, because last week, obviously, like every week, it's anti-bullying week. And last week we actually covered, well, I didn't, but Steve and Tessa did Empower You. And they actually covered bullying in a workplace. And I actually commented saying, I believe every single workplace should have a safe space where that employer can actually go and talk to someone.
Yes.
Like have someone who's trained in like mindset, law of attraction, mental health to go and talk to.
Yes. And not have to justify the reason you're leaving your workspace.
Yeah. I agree. Totally agree.
I mean, just my background, coming from accounting, we had to bill for every 15-minute increment. So we had to indicate when we were gone and when we were not billable. And so being able to use the restroom or, taking some time for ourselves, get that water, get that coffee, hydrate. I came from a space where I had to account for all that time. And I started working 60 hours a week when I was 18.
Wow.
And so being able to ask and be able to leave, to use, to take that time, going into that tribal government arena where they had so much more flexibility. They encouraged you to take that 15-minute break in the morning and that 15-minute break. It was really hard to break me of that. Because I recognize the value of that 15 minutes on my mental wellness, on my mental health. Just walking away from the desk, taking a walk made such a difference and such an impact on my day. However, that was the first place when I was probably 38 years old, was the first time that I was given permission to take those breaks. And that is the problem with corporate America in the US today, and I'm sure it's everywhere, is they're not giving employees the permission to take those breaks. They're being really productive. They're forcing so much productivity and, pushing so much responsibility on their employees that their employees are breaking. And that is the reason that I took a 4-month hiatus, was I was physically burnt out when I left my corporate job, left that tribal government job that was all I could do.
We've got a comment, and I want to see if you agree with this. Graham Duval, obviously my partner's dad, saying that's generally called HR, where you can air your views without being criticised.
There needs to be some good HR out there. I know that in the tribal government, there was one person you could go to, and she would take you in into an office and you felt safe. However, there's other ones. There was one that came from corporate world, and she was just like, da, 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 da. Here's a policy. Here's, if you're not following the policy, then it was really hard to talk to anybody in HR. And it had to be very selective. And I grew up in a lot of the small businesses that I worked in. It was tended to be 7 people or less. And it wasn't until I joined the tribal government that I was exposed to being in a company that was more than 7 employees. And with 7 employees or less, there was generally not an HR department. One company I left would discipline me because after I left, if they sent an email at 7 p.m., I was expected to answer that during the evening and be available to them for 24/7. And it was not paid. So coming from that, it was really hard to not jump instantly when I get an email. It was that programming from that one job that forced me to go into that corporate burnout, because I felt as if I had to answer an email immediately when I received it.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Wow.
And that was coming from an owner. It was the owner that would send you emails at night and expect responses. So it's those small companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's that with my NLP training, I want to turn corporate America around, because there is so much that they're not utilizing within their employees. And just having those, being able to turn around that corporate world to recognize the mindset and the value within the employees that they have right now.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to pick at your NLP brain here in a good way.
Okay.
Right.
I love having my NLP brain picked.
Yes, right. Graham just put, my workplace doesn't have one. The office staff just put you down and everyone else agrees because the boss instigates it. How do you get around that by using NLP?
So, using NLP to stop, for one, it's starting to get the staff to recognize that they are harming people, and using communication in which, one, I would try to stop and ignore if you can. Two, one of the biggest pieces of NLP that I've recognized and use with a lot of my clients is, you have your map of the world, they have their own map of the world. And their map, oftentimes, they come from a place where putting people down is accepted. And your map doesn't allow you don't come from a place where you want to put people down. So how can you reframe the situation to be where you're asking these staff members to reframe that thought? How can you find the value in your staff? Because that's what's important, is to start realizing the value in the people around you and not put them down. Because by putting them down, you're not only bullying them, you're devaluing them, and you're causing a toxic work environment. So how can you take that toxic work environment and turn it around? What is one thing that you can do, Graham, that can help stop that boss in his place? How can you pause and ask him, help him recognize that what he's doing is creating toxicity, and it's bullying, and it's doing more harm than good? And not only that, what he's doing to his staff, his customers are feeling. Because those staff then are going out and they can feel that toxicity. And I'd be curious to know if your workplace is losing some of your customers.
Does that answer your question? Well, your statement. Just wondering that. I think your counselling's active now. Wow. But yes, yes. All the way from across the pond as well.
Yes.
Hmm. Are you becoming global now, Michele?
I am. I have my coaches are in Australia. I have clients in France, and I'm in the US.
Wow. Great. Great.
Yes.
Now, wow.
I have you like speechless.
You have a little bit. You have. Now, all I've got to say is, now I'm looking at your social medias now. Let's touch on that.
Oh.
Yes. Where can people find you?
People can find me on, whoops. Oh, that's tough when the boss is the main bully. Yeah. I'd be curious what your boss is hiding. If he's hiding in his office, that brings me up. I'm just, as I read this, I feel as if your boss may be hiding something from his staff because he's the one that's bullying and lying and cheating on timesheets and taking his money. My feeling is, him thinking you're taking his money. Aren't you helping him earn his money? Oh, he's in Ireland. Yeah, curious. I don't know how you can cheat on your time cards. Yeah, my based on this and based on NLP, your boss is projecting something he doesn't like about himself. Is my thoughts onto his employees. And so I'm curious if, find a new job. I'm curious if his boss is projecting what he's doing onto his employees. That's an NLP presupposition, is that oftentimes we project onto other people, so they're mirroring back to us what is really happening within themselves.
Absolutely. And obviously, as Kerry's put, this show is going to be seen by 12,000 on Facebook and 16,000 on YouTube.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, so let's get all this shared, guys and gals.
Yes.
Yes, let's get this shared in the Mental Health Warrior group. I'm not in Michelle's group, sadly. She needs to add me.
I know. That's, you know what? It's for women. Because I'm creating a safe space for women to be able to express and to ask for help.
You could put my partner in it then. You could put my partner in it.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I need to connect you with our Rainbow Warrior then, because she's got a women's group, which obviously she promotes on the Mental Health Warriors, and that is she's called Caroline Bennis.
Nice.
Caroline Murphy Bennis.
Writing this down.
Yeah, the group is called the Rainbow Warrior Women's Group.
Beautiful.
Yes. And as Graham put, he has a disability and seems to think all the world owes him a living. I just see that as an excuse.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's an excuse.
Yes. Yeah, because he could do more for his employees and his employees would appreciate him. which in turn, through that appreciation and recognition, would get him more money, but also would have his employees supporting his business.
Exactly. Anyway, back to you.
Yes. So
I'll connect you both on Facebook. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Right. Why have you not written a book?
That's a funny question. A book has been on my mind since 2019. Okay. One of my clients is actually a 2-time published author. And it was, I will be honest, during my master's NLP training, I recognized that I had a teacher that shut me down. And so I feel as if I lost my creativity then and haven't been able to speak my voice into the written word.
Okay.
Since then. However, I've attempted to write books and never completed them. So that is my goal for 2022 though, is to write a book about my story.
Oh, brill. And as Caroline said, she's gonna do you know what, Caroline? You don't need to put the link here. I'll connect you to as well, and you can go from there. So there you go. I'll do that after here. And yes. So what I will do, I'm gonna let you go on camera on your own, and I want you to this teacher that brought you down, have a little bit of feedback to her of how much you've grown. Because that's what I see in you, growth.
Yes. So to that English teacher in grade 9 that told me and gave me my first failing grade, because I was a perfectionist due to my father, and that F devastated me. And that critical writing was good for emails and also to get me through college. However, that creativity has stopped me from being my best self and from growing the way I need to be growing. And so I am vouching that I will write my book in 2022 because I have everything within me to be creative and to get that book published. And my story is powerful, and other women would benefit from what I have to offer. So thank you for being critical, because I would not be where I am today if it was not for you criticizing me and telling me that I could no longer be a creative writer. So thank you, Caroline, for Flourish by Design. I would love to connect with you and write that book.
There you go. We've got the connection. Hey! Right. And what I will do is say thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for this opportunity to share my story, share my passion. And I trust that somebody got some value out of what I had to say.
Oh, absolutely. Hence the feedback, hence the interaction.
Yes.
So yes, so I'll make those two connections to you, and yeah, we'll go from there. All I see is a woman on a mission in you.
Yes.
That's what you are. Your life doesn't start now. Your life started the day you was born.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Yes. Exactly.
And throughout all the challenges from the day I was born until now is only grown me and made me a stronger, more confident woman.
Exactly. Now, a little short, need more info. Yeah, I'll connect you on Facebook, Graham. Don't worry. Yes. So yeah, I'll create a group chat on Facebook. So we'll go from there, and then she can help you a little bit. I know she's from across the pond, but yeah.
Yes.
Right, a little bit of housekeeping.
Yes.
Yes, Empower You is back tomorrow at an earlier time of 8:30 UK time tomorrow morning, where Steve Knapp, who Michelle knows very well, is back with Tessa Spanberg, and the topic they're going to talk about is talking about your core needs. So what exactly drives you in the morning? So they're going to be talking about that at 8:30 in the morning. So looking forward to that. Now, please share this in awareness, guys. I think this has been an absolutely exceptional stream. And thank you for coming on, Michelle. You've been amazing as usual. And I hope you come back in the future.
Thank you. I would be honored to come back in the future.
Yes. Yeah, no, coffee morning drives, Kerry in the morning. There you go. Right, I will end this stream now. I will see you later.